Welcome to our YouTube channel. Today, we bring you a story full of surprises and hidden angles that few people know about. Don't leave just yet. Just when you think you've figured it all out, there are fascinating and meaningful details waiting for you at the end of the video. Let's explore together and uncover the special message this video has for you. Are you ready? Let's get started. In the late 14th century, as the northern seas became infested with pirates preying on the merchant fleets of kings and queens, a new chapter in history unfolded. The Teutonic Order, a brotherhood of knights with a storied past, rose to the challenge, igniting what would become the Knights versus Pirates War of 1398. This captivating saga is brought to you by Odoo. Stay tuned to learn how you can create a professional website quickly, easily, and for free. The Black Death had ravaged Europe mid-century, claiming nearly half the population and leaving survivors to rebuild a fractured world. Yet life pressed on. Merchants braved the seas, peasants tilled the land, and knights fought in the name of crowns. Among them was Queen Margaret of Denmark, who triumphed over Sweden's King Albert of Mecklenburg in 1389, imprisoning him in a castle at Sweden's southern edge. While Stockholm remained loyal to their captured king, the House of Mecklenburg lacked the resources to reclaim him and turned to unsavory allies, mercenaries known as the Vittel Brothers. These rogue sailors smuggled supplies past Margaret's blockade, looted Danish ships, and terrorized shipping lanes, earning both noble and common followers under the banner of sanctioned piracy. Initially protected in Allied ports, the Vittel brothers' legitimacy crumbled as Margaret negotiated Albert's release. Fragmented and unruly, some members turned to indiscriminate plundering, attacking friend and foe alike. A chronicler lamented, "They threatened the entire sea and all merchants, disrupting vital trade routes, including the prized salted herring trade." Even after Albert's release in 1395 and Margaret's consolidation of Scandinavia, the pirates clung to power, turning Gotland and its fortified city of Visby into their stronghold. Though Gotland had once been under Danish control, it fell into pirate hands when Sven Sture, a captain appointed by Margaret, betrayed her and joined the Vittel brothers. Declaring themselves friends of God and enemies of the world, these pirates ruled unchecked. Recognizing their growing threat, Grandmaster Conrad von Jungingen of the Teutonic Order resolved to act. As a veteran crusader order, the Teutonic Knights had evolved from their origins in the Holy Land to dominate the Baltic region, raising their Black Cross over a prosperous domain enriched by the Hanseatic League. Yet even this powerful trade network was powerless against the Vittel brothers, whose winter retreats to Gotland offered the perfect opportunity for an assault. In March 1398, the Teutonic Order secretly assembled a formidable force of 4,000 men, including 50 knights of elite rank, equipped with some of the most advanced weaponry of the time, bombard cannons and early firearms, innovations that promised to shape the tides of battle. Their preparations were shrouded in secrecy, as they sought to outmaneuver Queen Margaret of Denmark and prevent her from laying claim to the strategically vital island of Gotland. On March 17th, the fleet, an impressive armada of 84 ships, unfurled their sails and set course across the icy Baltic waters. The air was thick with tension as they navigated toward their target, each soldier acutely aware of the gravity of their mission. By March 21st, the fleet had reached the shores of Gotland, anchoring near one of the pirate castles. The Vittel brothers, hardened by years of lawlessness and piracy, were not to be underestimated. Though their numbers were far smaller, roughly 800 men spread across Visby and its fortified strongholds, they wielded stolen weapons with ruthless precision, their expertise and violence honed by countless raids. As the Teutonic forces prepared to land, the pirates scrambled to fortify their positions, manning the walls and battlements with a grim resolve. The cold, bracing winds carried the scent of salt and iron, mingling with the unspoken promise of bloodshed. The stage was set for a decisive clash that would determine not only the fate of Gotland, but the control of the Baltic seas themselves. Steel clashed, crossbows snapped, and blades struck true as the battle erupted with ferocious intensity. The shores of Gotland became a cacophony of chaos and death, with cries of defiance drowned out by the relentless roar of cannon fire and the thunderous crash of waves against the rocks. Teutonic soldiers stormed the beaches in disciplined waves, trampling over jagged ice and the lifeless bodies of those who dared to resist. Arrows rained down from the castle battlements, but the knights' shields held firm, their gleaming armor reflecting the pale winter sun. The advance was relentless, and one by one, the pirate defenders fell, their resistance crushed under the sheer weight of the invading force. The frostbitten Isle of Gotland bore witness to a grim tableau. Snowdrifts, stained red with blood, blanketed the ground, and the bitter chill of winter seeped into every corner of the battlefield. Despite the unforgiving conditions, the Teutonic Knights, their banners snapping defiantly in the icy winds, established their camp upon the conquered shore. Fires crackled in hastily erected hearths, their smoke curling into the steel-gray sky, a stark contrast to the desolation surrounding them. Winter clung stubbornly to the island, its icy grip making every step a battle in itself. The transport of artillery was laborious, the wheels of the heavy siege engines groaning under the strain as they were dragged through snow and ice. Yet the harshness of the elements only seemed to fortify the resolve of the knights, whose disciplined ranks pressed forward with unwavering determination. As the Teutonic forces advanced, a sense of doom swept across the island, carried on the frigid winds like an omen. Villages were abandoned in their wake, the once thriving communities reduced to ghostly remnants as their inhabitants fled toward Visby, seeking sanctuary within its ancient walls. The land itself seemed to wither under the weight of impending destruction. Fields that had once yielded bountiful harvests now lay barren, entombed beneath the frozen earth, while the skeletal remains of trees reached skyward like mournful sentinels. The air was heavy with the echoes of war drums, a relentless rhythm that heralded the night's approach. Inside Visby, panic spread like wildfire, consuming the city's defenders and citizens alike. The streets, which had once bustled with the lively commerce of a prosperous port, now seethed with fear and desperation. Whispers of the Teutonic Order's merciless efficiency rippled through the populace, each tale more harrowing than the last. The pirate rulers, who had once held the city in an iron grip, now found their authority crumbling under the weight of mounting despair. Supplies dwindled with alarming speed, and the common folk, long oppressed by the Victual brothers' tyranny, grew restless. Resentment simmered just below the surface, threatening to erupt into open rebellion. Meanwhile, the Teutonic fleet tightened its hold on the island, blockading Visby's harbor and severing the last threads of hope for escape. The pirates, who had once ruled the seas with impunity, now found themselves trapped, their dominance reduced to ash in the face of the Order's relentless campaign. As the snow swirled through the air, obscuring the landscape in a veil of white, the Teutonic army emerged on the outskirts of the city. Their disciplined formation and gleaming armor seemed to embody an unstoppable force, a harbinger of doom that loomed over Visby like a storm about to break. The siege was inevitable, a reckoning that could no longer be delayed. The defenders of Visby, though fierce in their resolve, were hopelessly outmatched. Their stolen weapons, once symbols of their defiance, now seemed inadequate against the sheer might of the Teutonic Order. As the bitter winds howled through the city's streets, carrying with them the distant sounds of drums and marching feet, the fate of Gotland hung in precarious balance. The Teutonic Knights advanced with the cold precision of an unstoppable machine, their sights set on Visby, where the final act of this grim saga would soon unfold. Realizing the hopelessness of their situation, Sven-Sture and Duke John of Mecklenburg sought negotiations with the advancing Teutonic Knights. Their envoys approached under banners of truce, their faces etched with the gravity of their surrender. Yet even as they sought terms, the formidable Teutonic fleet tightened its grip on Visby, blocking the harbor and severing any hope of escape. The pirates who had once ruled these waters with impunity now found themselves trapped, their dominance shattered by the cold precision of their adversaries. As snow swirled through the air, the gleaming army emerged on the outskirts of the city, their disciplined formation and glinting armor embodying an unstoppable force. Inside Visby, desperation reigned. Supplies were critically low, and the common folk, long burdened by the oppressive rule of the Vittel brothers, had grown restless. The pirates' grip on the city weakened, and resistance faltered under the mounting pressure. Discontent boiled over, with whispers of betrayal circulating among the defenders. The once fearsome Vittel brothers were now fractured, their unity crumbling in the face of relentless opposition. On April 5th, the terms of surrender were finalized. The pirates would abandon Gotland, surrender all their stolen goods, and watch their fortresses burn to the ground. A grim ultimatum was issued. By sunset on April 7th, any pirate still lingering on the island would face the penalty of death. The following days saw Sven Sture and 400 Vittel brothers evacuate the island under heavy scrutiny, leaving behind a scorched and bloodied landscape. Smoke from their ruined strongholds rose into the sky, a stark symbol of their defeat. The Teutonic forces swept through the island, stamping out the last remnants of resistance in a brutal and unrelenting campaign. The blood of outlaws soaked the snow as the knights dismantled what was left of the pirate haven. The destruction was systematic and thorough, each fortress and hidden enclave rooted out and destroyed. Villages that had harbored pirates were razed, their inhabitants spared no mercy. It was not just a military conquest, but a campaign of annihilation, designed to obliterate the Vittel brothers' legacy and send a clear message to all who dared defy the Teutonic Order. These erstwhile servants of kings, once hailed as privateers, were now cast aside, their services rendered irrelevant in the shifting tides of political necessity. Their story became a cautionary tale of how quickly loyalty could turn a sanctioned privateer into a hunted outlaw. Though the Teutonic Order's victory was swift, it came at a high cost. The campaign drained their resources and left the knights to face growing tensions on the continent, along with internal dissent within their ranks. The triumph was fleeting. Just a few years later, Margaret of Denmark seized Gotland, compelling the Teutonic Order to cede the island to her in 1408. King Albert, having failed to pay his silver ransom, relinquished Stockholm as well, further cementing Margaret's dominance over the region. Her strategic brilliance reshaped the balance of power, weaving together the kingdoms of Scandinavia into a formidable union that left the Teutonic Order struggling to regain its footing. As for the Vittel brothers, their infamous legacy endured in whispers and shadowy folklore. Scattered remnants of the once feared pirates vanished into the misty corners of the Gray Seas, continuing their thievery in obscurity. Among their tales, one name emerged prominently: Klaus Stortbeker, a legendary pirate who was captured and met his fate on the executioner's block, along with his loyal crew. Despite the re-establishment of order on the seas, the specter of piracy lingered, waiting for new opportunities to rise. In the end, the downfall of Gotland's pirates marked the end of an era, but it also heralded the beginning of a new chapter. The world's horizons would soon expand, offering fresh waters and unguarded corridors for those bold enough to claim them, proving that chaos and the lure of the open sea were never truly vanquished. From the ashes of defeat, new stories of daring and treachery would emerge, ensuring that the seas would forever remain a realm of both order and rebellion. Thank you for taking the time to watch today's video. If you found this story interesting and meaningful, don't forget to hit like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss any exciting content coming up. Leave a comment to share your thoughts. We're eager to hear from you. See you in the upcoming videos with more unique and meaningful stories. Stay with us.